Good morning, everyone. Let us take a moment to arrive on our chair or on our cushion in front of our device. We can do that by taking 3 deep breaths. Every time we inhale, we try to refresh our attention. Every time we exhale, we try to relax. Now let us take a look at our meditation posture. Ideally sitting on the floor in the full lotus posture. You can also sit cross-legged or in half lotus or even Burmese style with one leg in front of the other. If you are sitting on the chair, it's perfectly fine. Just make sure you are not leaning against the support of the chair, not leaning too much forward either. The best if you're on the chair is for both of your feet to be flat on the floor and your 2 legs just a few inches apart. The hands, we place them traditionally in the concentration mudra. You have your right hand on top of the left, the 2 thumbs are slightly touching, and this mudra rests on your lap. The back is straight. You can naturally sit upright. You can imagine there is a string pulling from the crown of your head, keeping your body upright. But loosely upright. Don't be tight, don't be stiff. Actually, the shoulders are even and relaxed. And so is the neck. You can very slightly tilt your head forward so that the neck is aligned in the continuation of the spine. You can place your tongue towards your upper palate, just behind your upper teeth. This helps to reduce the production of saliva while you meditate. And finally, the eyes. We leave them slightly opened to allow some light to enter, keeping us alert. You can just gaze in the space in front of you, about 45 degrees cast down. Out of these 7 points, the most important is for the back to be straight, loosely straight, for the body to be naturally upright. Now that we looked at our body, let us take a look at our minds. Why are we meditating? Let us try to generate a good motivation for this session. A Mahayana motivation. Mahayana is Sanskrit for great vehicle. Now, what makes this vehicle great is its entry door, which is bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is Sanskrit for the mind of awakening. The mind of awakening is the wish to become a fully awakened Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Why do we want to benefit sentient beings? It's because we recognize that since beginningless time, since time immemorial, all sentient beings, including ourselves, have been trapped in the vicious prison of their own mind, in the vicious prison of cyclic existence, or samsara in Sanskrit. Due to the power of karma and afflictions, we are constantly taking rebirth again and again in cyclic existence without any sense of control. In each rebirth, we also don't have any control over the experiences that we have. Sometimes we have pleasant experiences, sometimes we have unpleasant experiences. These are dictated by the karmas we have accumulated in the past, and we cannot choose the sequence of their ripening. For example, this morning, we don't have much control what is going to happen all of a sudden. Those of us in Delhi, we might have a power cut, then no AC, no fan, and have to bear the humidity. This is something unpleasant we don't really want. Similarly, all of a sudden, an old friend might show up to our house with sweets for us and bringing us a pleasant experience. We don't have much control. This lack of control is precisely what samsara is. All these experiences that we have are due to the karmas we have accumulated in the past. As long as we are trapped in cyclic existence because of our afflictions, we will accumulate more karmas. Our afflictions are, for example, desire, anger, jealousy, pride, anxiety, depression, and so on and so forth. All of these make us engage in actions that are sometimes positive, but most of the time negative, such as killing, stealing, lying, saying harsh words or divisive words. And any such non-virtuous negative action will inevitably ripen in the form of an unpleasant experience, an experience of pain. We can see around us so many people have difficult lives. We can see so many people living in the street, no access to shelter, no access to AC, to fans, no access to good food, good water. Very difficult lives. We can see so many people suffering from acute sicknesses, so many people being abused by others, so much domestic violence also happening, so many people living in countries that are at war. We can also think of the animal realm, how the animals lack even more control, especially in the wilderness where they are living in a constant fear of being, hunted by bigger animals, by predators. animals in the wilderness, even when they are trying to sleep, it seems like they're not completely asleep. They're still alert. There's like a corner of the eye that is checking if a predator is coming. Let us try to generate some compassion for ourselves and all sentient beings, wishing, may all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. The causes of suffering being the afflictions and the karmas. So all these karmas we engage in and all these mental afflictions that we have, the root cause of all these is called the self-grasping ignorance. It is this misperception that we have that all phenomena, we apprehend them as existing truly. We apprehend everything as existing objectively, out there, in and of themselves. We feel that phenomena exist independently from the mind. Because of that, we have this very strong sense of I, me. And we feel this I is the most important thing in the universe. We have a sense of I am more important than others. Therefore, all the mental afflictions are there and all the negative karmas are accumulated. Even the positive karmas, the good actions that we do, they are contaminated by this self-grasping ignorance, meaning that even the good actions we do, they will ripen in the form of pleasant experiences. Inevitably, all the comforts that we have in our lives, even the fact that we are human beings, this is all due to the positive karmas we have accumulated in the past. But these positive karmas are contaminated by this self-grasping ignorance, meaning that they lead to pleasant experiences within samsara, meaning without control. Let us reinforce our sense of compassion for ourselves and all sentient beings. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And let us try to take this a step further. Let us try to generate a sense of responsibility. At the moment, I have this human body. I have all my mental, physical abilities. I am born in a world where the Buddha has appeared 2600 years ago. The Buddha turned the wheel of Dharma. He gave extensive teachings for many decades. And to this day, his teachings are still very much available, especially in this digital era in which it is so easy, with just one click, we can listen to lectures from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for example, that can truly help us to transform our minds. Not only that, but there are many followers of the Buddha's teachings who can help us to understand our minds, who can guide us. We have companions in our journey. And there are also many generous benefactors that allow for Dharma centers, monasteries, services and projects to exist around the world. And not only that, I am willing, to transform my mind. I am interested in the teachings of the Buddha. So all these freedoms, all these endowments are called the precious human rebirth, the precious human life that is so rare, so difficult to obtain. Now, due to some miracle, I have all these conditions. Try to recognize how fortunate it is and see how all the sentient beings we have talked about, those who are living in countries that are at war, those who are living in the streets, the animals in the wilderness, how the majority of the sentient beings don't have this precious human rebirth. Even among the 8 billion human beings on the planet who have the body, who have the mind, who are living in this world where the Buddha appeared and the teachings are still available, they are so busy, so distracted with worldly pleasure, with mundane activities. They have no interest to look inwards, no interest to look at their minds, no interest to listen to the Buddha's teachings. So try to recognize, I have these conditions. How fortunate. Therefore, for the benefit of all beings who don't have these conditions, I myself must take responsibility. I must transform my mind. I must purify my mind from the afflictions, from the karmas, in order to be of benefit to sentient beings. Now, how can I do that? How can I help sentient beings? Myself being deluded, myself being under the control of the afflictions, myself being trapped in samsara, experiencing the results of the karmas I have accumulated in the past. So first I must do like Shakyamuni Buddha did 2600 years ago. I must purify my mind, I must eliminate all the afflictions, purify all the karmas. And just like Buddha Shakyamuni did, I must also eliminate all the mental veils, all the cognitive obscurations, all these obscurations that prevent omniscience. I must achieve the state of full awakening, the state of omniscience, the state of a Buddha, in order to guide sentient beings unmistakenly. Only with omniscience will I know how to guide them, knowing their past, present, and future, knowing their capacity for change. Try to generate this beautiful mind of bodhicitta by thinking, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. So with this motivation in mind, we will engage in Shamatha practice this morning, calm abiding meditation. More specifically, what we'll do is called a single-pointed meditation, meaning we will place all our attention on a single object. So we already looked at the body posture. The second thing is the object of meditation. So if you're familiar with single-pointed meditation, you can take to mind the object you're the most familiar with for this meditation. And if you don't have a familiar object, what I would suggest is to focus on the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. Try to place all your attention there. Perhaps as you breathe in, you feel it's a little bit cool at the entrance of the nostrils, and as you breathe out, a little bit warmer. Try to observe that for the duration of the meditation. Now, when we meditate, we tend to get distracted. And there are two main ways we get distracted. The first one is called mental excitement. Basically, we are distracted with thoughts, mostly thinking about the past and the future. Therefore, we lose our object of meditation. The second way we tend to get distracted is with laxity, also called dullness or lethargy. Basically, we don't put enough application in our meditation and the mind starts to sink. We tend to fall asleep and therefore we also lose our object of meditation. So finally, the last instruction for this meditation is that there are two antidotes that we need to use to counteract these two distractions. The first antidote is called introspection. Introspection is a mental factor, so it's a small part of our mind in the background that is checking. Am I meditating? What is my mind doing? Is my mind focused on my object of meditation or did it wander? Is it distracted with thoughts or did it fall into lethargy, into dullness? And the moment this introspection notices that the mind is not focused on the object of meditation anymore, we make use of the second antidote, which is called mindfulness. And the role of mindfulness is to bring the mind back onto the object of meditation. And making sure the mind remains there, the attention remains on the object of meditation. An analogy that I like to use to illustrate these two antidotes, you can imagine if you have a pet dog at home and the dog runs away. Introspection notices that the dog is gone, the dog is not at home anymore, and mindfulness brings the dog back home, and you can also imagine tying him against a pillar, for example, so that the dog remains at home. So this is a little bit similar to what we are trying to do with our mind. So we'll do this meditation, trying for 5 minutes. We'll try 5 quality minutes. Try to remain as much as possible focused on your object of meditation, noticing if you're focused or not, and if not, bringing the mind back onto the object. We'll try for 5 minutes as best as we can. gently come out of the meditation. So for us beginners, it is actually advised, to keep the meditations short. Like now we just did 5 minutes. Actually, if we manage, for 5 minutes to remain focused on our object without being distracted, that is amazing. That is already a great level of calm abiding, a great level of shamatha. There are two reasons why we encourage beginners to keep the meditations short. The first one is because we are so used, to being distracted that if we sit for 1 hour, for example, as a beginner, during 1 hour, our mind will go to so many places, constantly distracted with thoughts or with lethargy. But if we sit for 5 minutes, and at the beginning of the 5 minutes, we really, commit to try to focus as much as possible for 5 minutes, then we can transform, we can, train our mind to properly use the antidotes of introspection and mindfulness. If we sit for 1 hour and are constantly distracted and don't, put effort in the antidotes, we will just reinforce our bad habits. The second reason is that if we sit for, let's say, 1 hour, 2 hours, at the end of the session, we might feel exhausted. And the next time we see the meditation cushion, we feel, oh, I don't want to meditate. It's so much effort. But if we meditate for 5 minutes, at the end of the 5 minutes, we might want to meditate more. And this is a very good sign that we will, again, in the future, make the effort to sit down. So it is advised 5 minutes as a beginner, maybe 10 minutes, and maximum is 24 minutes for a session. It is advised after 24 minutes to at least, stand up, stretch the legs, and then sit again if you want to do more. But as a beginner, I would not recommend doing more than 24 minutes a day. If you can commit to every morning do 5 minutes, that would be more amazing than amazing. And after some time, you will see a difference. Let us dedicate the merits that we have accumulated by doing this session, trying to develop the antidotes of introspection and mindfulness, as well as the meditation we did trying to generate bodhicitta. Let us dedicate these merits so that we may soon, very soon, achieve the state of full awakening in order to benefit countless sentient beings. May the supreme minds of bodhicitta and the wisdom realizing emptiness that have not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen never diminish but increase forevermore. May His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of happiness and joy on this planet, have a very long and healthy life, and may all his wishes become instantly fulfilled. May our spiritual guide of the FPMT and Tushita Centre, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, who took the aspect of passing away last year, may he come back soon, very soon, in a fresh body and continue to guide us. Finally, due to all the merits of the 3 times, may the wars that are happening around the world immediately come to an end. May there be no new war, may there be no famine, may there be no epidemic, may there be no financial crisis, may there be no natural disaster, and may peace and happiness prevail in everyone's hearts and lives. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Tomorrow we'll also have a 9 a.m. meditation, even though it is Independence Day. And actually, from now on, you can join us also in person for the morning meditation on Monday and Thursday. And of course, Monday to Friday is also online. And only Monday to Thursday you can join in person. Then this weekend, we'll have 2 special events. On Saturday at 11:30 a.m. we have Deepesh Thakkar, who is going to give a talk about the 4 seals of the Buddha's teachings, as well as how to find genuine happiness in modern times. And on Sunday we'll have a very interesting Dharma discussion with Lokesh Jindal about the law of cause and effect, the law of karma. So this is promising to be very interesting because, as you might know, karma is one of those very hidden phenomenon that only, a fully awakened mind can know all the details, all the different aspects of karma. So this will be an interactive discussion with someone who has studied a lot. So that is going to be very interesting. Sunday morning at 11 a.m. and Saturday morning with Deepak is 11:30. So most welcome to join us online, same link, and also at Tushita Centre in person. See you soon. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.